Money is a manipulated tool that countries use in order to develop, to benefit themselves, to grow, and to control. Countries using their own currency instead of the US dollar to conduct. Now, understand, money is a part of a manipulated monetary. The US will never be able to repay all of its debt. But a question that you have to ask, though, is why would the United States ever pay off all of its debt? All of that added a big chunk to our national. I just do not see that changing or being addressed in any meaningful way anytime soon. The national debt in the United States has officially reached $35 trillion. And when you think that the debt was at $5 trillion in 2000 and only $12 trillion in 2010, it gets people wondering. And a lot of people have raised concerns recently about the national debt, how quickly it's surging, and if the United States will be able to keep up with the payments as things only continue to grow. And before we get started, let me just say that if you like content like this, leave a comment down below letting me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe for more content like this and hit that thumbs up button for me. Now understand, money is a part of a manipulated monetary system. Money is backed by sovereign nations. These sovereign nations are able to produce and control and manipulate money as they want to. Money is not like gold that has a fixed value that you could put on a scale. You can't artificially create more of it. Money is a manipulated tool that countries use in order to develop, to benefit themselves, to grow, and to control. I've seen quite a few videos online recently, people talking about the national debt, how quickly it's surging, and a lot of people have, legitimate concerns when it comes to this. You see a lot of the doomsday people come out, and doomsday type of scenario videos are prevalent online when it comes to the national debt. And a comment that a lot of people will make, and even in the comment section, is that the US will never be able to repay all of its debt. But a question that you have to ask, though, is why would the United States ever pay off all of its debt? Now, the US, they accumulate this debt in the form of securities, so treasuries, bonds, T-notes, all that type of stuff. And when these things go on the market, they sell out like hotcakes. It is a big market. It's many people want to get in on this market. In the United States, they sell this and they pay interest off of it. They accumulate money and they use that money for whatever purpose that they want to grow US interests. I think the thing that most people get upset about is how quickly the debt is surging as of late. I read a report online that right now we're at pretty much every 100 days, the debt grows about $1 trillion. Now you think about how much $1 trillion is. That is a big dollar amount. Every 100 days, that much gets added on to the debt. And people also get upset at the way that it's being spent. They don't necessarily agree with it. And also, you have to keep in mind that it wasn't always this way. There was a time that the national debt, the money that was collected through these treasuries, and also the amount of income that was coming in from taxes and other things ran pretty much parallel. Some years you might have had a small deficit, other years you even had a surplus, and that was the way historically for a long time. But in recent times, the debt has just ballooned, it has surged, and it is something that a lot of people are starting to get worried about. And the national debt has ballooned or surged for a lot of various reasons. A big culprit was all those stimulus bills that were passed during the COVID pandemic. You had a lot of money roll. 3 trillion here, a couple trillion there, and all of that added a big chunk to our national debt. Now, you'll talk to some government officials and politicians, and they'll tell you that all of this money is just to advance America's interests. And the U.S. is not the only place in the world that's spending a lot of money. A lot of governments are right now running big deficits, trying to keep their economies afloat and keep things moving. And in some of these countries, you start to see a devaluation of their currency. You start to see inflation start to go up a lot. And you have people, scrambling just to get everyday goods. And people here start to get worried and wonder, will that take place here? Now, One thing that the United States has going for it, the US dollar is the reserve currency of the entire world. So other countries will buy our securities, bonds, and things, and they will hold US dollars. And when they do business with other countries, they will transact in other dollars, use our currency to do their business because we are the reserve currency. Now, that gives the US dollar, some special treatment that other places do not have. And you might have seen some reports recently where some countries have kind of went around that. Some countries have, we're going to do business in our own currency outside of that system that pretty much the rest of the world uses. And that is something to keep an eye on. Countries using their own currency instead of the US dollar to conduct business. It doesn't happen all the time, and it doesn't happen very often at all, but it has come up in the news. Certain countries are kind of going away from it. Just something to keep an eye on. Now, as a country, we have to be mindful of the way that we spend money. Now, when you have a strong, growing economy, a young working population, and strong business activity, you can kind of justify running a deficit. You understand that if you do so and these activities only continue to improve, in the long term, it's going to benefit your country. But the US also sends out a lot of money on a regular basis in foreign aid, supporting wars and other things all across the world. Billions and billions, probably trillions of dollars if you add it up over a period of time. And some people even think the way that it's spent domestically, it is mismanaged. The issue is, and you've had politicians that have come out and said that we need to control our spending, that the deficit is getting out of hand. But the issue is that is a revolving door. You have people in and out of office every 4 years or 2 years, and it's nobody is really going to address. When people have their own agendas and they're looking for votes, they're not really going to tackle this issue. They might tackle some issues and try to solve some other problems, but I don't think that the national debt will be solved as an issue until it absolutely has to at that very last minute. I think for now, it's just going to continue to grow. Those interest payments are going to continue to grow. And, the issue right now is the economy is not growing as fast as the debt is, so it's consuming more and more of the income that the United States gets. And I just do not see that changing or being addressed in any meaningful way anytime soon. If you like content like this, leave a comment down below letting me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe for more content like this and hit that thumbs up button for me.